What is up, guys? It's your man Steady Chaos coming to you with a quick little video here on some video gaming news pertaining mostly to the Xbox Series X and Microsoft. So we've recently gotten confirmation that the Xbox Series X is indeed going to launch this holiday season, and Microsoft has confirmed that the Series X will launch in November. That's not particularly surprising. Most of us expected the Xbox Series X to launch in the holiday season of 2020, and also the same goes for the Sony PlayStation 5, although Sony hasn't said anything official, but we expect. And Sony has stated repeatedly that they don't believe that the hardware will be delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. So both consoles are most likely coming in November. Good news. However, there's a bit of continuous bad news from Microsoft, and it really has been kind of tough sledding for Microsoft ever since they revealed Halo Infinite about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. That gameplay trailer was not well received. It's been widely panned by much of the internet for having just subpar, completely underwhelming graphics. I mean, this is the Xbox Series X after all. This is something that has the graphical power that is roughly on par to an RTX 2080, or so they claim, with, 12 teraflops of power, and then they show off Halo Infinite, and it is just entirely underwhelming. So, of course, 343 comes out on Twitter, they release a statement, they understand the criticisms, they're taking them to heart, and what they showed was an earlier build of the game, and they're going to improve it, and once the game launches, it will look much better, so they claim. I don't know why, when you have a huge gameplay reveal for Halo Infinite, you would show an early build and not the most recent build for such a heavily anticipated game, for what is basically the only real exclusive for the Xbox Series X's launch. But they did it. It is what it is. So fast forward to today, which is August 11th, and we have some more news about Halo Infinite and its launch status on the Xbox Series X. 343 Industries released an official statement today saying, "Today, I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We have made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision." Oh my God, Microsoft. What? Oh, Jesus. Brutal. Just brutal. The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-19 related impacts. Bullshit. No doubt, coronavirus has had some impact on the development. It's had an impact on many things media, whether it's movies, TV production, video game production, sure. But they have realized that the gameplay reveal they had for Halo Infinite a couple weeks ago, it was incredibly underwhelming, and Microsoft has gotten a ton of flack for it. They probably figured, well, we still have 3 or 4 months to try to polish up this turd. Let's promise them it'll look better on launch. And then here we are, almost in September, and they're like, crap, we have 2.5 months, and we're not going to be able to make this game meet the expectations of the community. We're not going to be able to make this game look much better than it really is right now. What are we gonna do? Oh, we're just gonna delay it to sometime in 2021, and we'll say it's because of the coronavirus and other factors. No, you're delaying it to try to polish up this turd even further. I don't know what they can really do at this point. The game's already been in development for years. It's already probably exhausted most of its $500 million, yeah, you heard me right, $500 million production budget. Yeah, $500 million. I believe that's the biggest production budget of any video game ever. And if it's not, then it's definitely up there and it's close. So they are waiting until 2021 at this point to release Halo Infinite. So where does that leave the Xbox Series X? Well, to be blunt, it leaves it in a world of hurt. Halo Infinite was the only really killer exclusive that Microsoft had for the Xbox Series X launch in November. With that removed from the lineup, they basically have nothing. They have a few multi-plats that will launch, but other than that, they don't have any killer IPs, they don't have any killer exclusives, and in my opinion at this point, there's really no reason to get an Xbox Series X, especially if you already have an Xbox One X. What are you really gaining? Let's take a quick look at what the lineup looks like now. No, sorry, this is a picture of Halo Infinite. Look at this. maybe it's It's pretty obvious why 343 has decided that maybe they need a little bit more time to try to polish up this game for the Xbox Series X. I just don't know what they're going to be able to do, because this is a cross-generational game. This is a game that's being developed for Xbox One and Xbox One X and Xbox Series X. So it's not like they can really, you know, improve the assets all that much, other than maybe improving some lighting here and there, working on screen pop-in, loading times, maybe textures, things like that, and overall resolution. They're not going to be able to change much about what you see here for Halo Infinite. It is what it is. It's launching on Xbox One, Xbox One X, and Xbox Series X. So it's going to share the same assets, and if anything, Xbox One is just going to hold back this exclusive for the Xbox Series X. They should have never made this a cross-gen game. They just shouldn't have. But anyway, so Xbox Series X, every game available at launch. Okay, so even though Halo Infinite has been delayed to 2021, there are still plenty of games coming to Xbox Series X in 2020. Why? Sorry, what? Okay. Let's take a look. This is the games coming to Xbox Series X at launch that have been absolutely confirmed. Okay, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games at launch. So when you go and you pick up this console in November, right at launch, and most likely a couple weeks after, they're gonna have 8 games for you to choose from. So they're gonna have Marvel's Avengers, Watch Dogs Legion, FIFA, NBA, 2K21, Yakuza, Assassin's Creed, WRC9, which is a racing game, and Fortnite, which has been around forever. All of these games are multi-plats. None of them are exclusives. There is no reason to spend. We don't even know the price yet on the Xbox Series X, and given how powerful its hardware is, it could come in at $550 or $600. Why would you spend $600 at launch for a console that has 8 games? And they're all multi-plats that you can play on your Xbox One, or your Xbox One X, or your PlayStation, or the PC. Well, there's no point. Yes, the Xbox Series X is backwards compatible, so there's that, but you're not going to spend $600 on a console just so you can play games from 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. I mean, it's a good feature to have, but it's not a huge selling point, or at least in my opinion, it shouldn't be. But these are the games coming to the Xbox Series X at or around launch, so maybe a few weeks after the launch, or sometime in December or early January. There's a lot of games in here that, again, are almost all multi-platforms, or a lot of them are sort of like indie type games. There's nothing in here that is a brand new, expensive, ambitious IP that would really pull people to the Xbox Series X. And there's nothing in here that is exclusively for the Xbox Series X that is sort of a AAA title, something that really harnesses all the abilities of the Xbox Series X. Most of these games, like I said, are going to also come out on the Xbox One. So Microsoft took a hit with the release of Halo Infinite gameplay. It was widely panned, and they tried to do damage control with a statement saying that it was an early build, and then a few weeks later, now they're saying it's been outright delayed until sometime in 2021. They're blaming it on the coronavirus. It's not the coronavirus. It partially is, but it's not entirely the coronavirus. It's the fact that the game looks like a pile of poop, and they're trying frantically to fix it, which they're not really going to be able to. And so that leaves the Xbox Series X without any sort of launch title worth buying the console for. It leaves the Xbox Series X high and dry. It just keeps getting worse for Microsoft. I thought when they first announced the Xbox Series X that I was like, wow, they're gonna try to regain momentum. This thing is a killer. It's more powerful than the PlayStation 5. It has killer hardware, you know, like I said, roughly equivalent to a 2080 RTX, and now we have this. There's no point in having a powerful console if you don't have any software to go with it. If you don't have any software that is exclusive to that console, that harnesses that console's power, there's no point in really buying it. So that's where I stand now. And I'm not a fanboy. I say this in all these types of videos. I really want Microsoft to do well because I want them to compete with Sony. I don't want Sony to sit back and be like, well, Microsoft's not doing much. Look at Halo Infinite. It looks like garbage. I guess we can just skate our way through this entire generation and continue to give you, you know, decent games, but we're not really going to stress ourselves out because there's no competition. You know, that's not good. Competition is always good for the consumer. So that is why I really do hope that Microsoft can figure out a way to harness the power of the Xbox Series X and give us something worthwhile. Or really, I mean, because right now it's just not looking good. So I just wanted to get that out there. If you are eagerly anticipating the Xbox Series X, then your eager anticipation certainly took a bit of a blow. But with that said, if you still really want it, the console will be available to you in November, and there will be 8 launch titles, all multi-plats. So eat your heart out, guys. If you like this video, certainly leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you soon. Peace.